Sometimes the toughest fights we have aren't with other guys, but with our own silly stubbornness. For 23 years, Silas Cord dealt with hurt he never talked about, holding on to a heavy load quietly like lots of guys from his time did. Way up in the Wyoming hills, this lone hunter made a life his own way, miles from docks and cities. A weird bump on his leg got bigger bit by bit over the years, but he brushed it off, thinking it was just from getting old. Then one fall morning, it burst open. What came out was kind of what he thought. What was hidden inside was a big surprise. Stuck way deep in the flesh was something from a shootout way back. Something that would flip everything he believed. What could stay in a guy's body for more than 20 years? Before we keep going, say where you're tuning in from and hit subscribe, because tomorrow's tale is super amazing. The little house was where it had been for 30 years, snuggled in a dip of the hill like a secret shared by the trees and the clouds. Silas Cord put it together with his own two hands back in 1861 when he was young and the world seemed simpler. The wood was faded gray now, filled in with moss and dirt that he fixed up every spring. A rock smokestack poked up from the middle, smoke twisting out most mornings when it got chilly. It wasn't fancy, but it was his, and that meant way more than being comfy ever could. He got up most days before sunrise when the hill was still super quiet. The daily stuff never switched up. Light the fire. Heat coffee in the beat-up pot that lasted longer than some folks he knew. Look at the traps he put out the day before. Skin what he caught. Stretch the skins. Salt them. Pile them with the rest, waiting for the once-a-year town trip. Silas was in his 50s now, though he'd quit keeping track of the exact age a while back. His hair was mostly gray, tied back so it didn't bug him while working. His hands were marked up and rough, the joints puffy from breaks that fixed wrong. He was a bit under 6 feet, wide in the shoulders, but skinny otherwise. The hill didn't let you get extra. You worked, you ate what you needed, and the rest was for making it through another day. His face shared tales he never said out loud. A scar went from his left brow into his hair, where a bear got too near in 73. Another cut his chin from a blade fight he just barely won in 69. His eyes were like gray clouds before rain. And they'd seen stuff that made young guys back off when he looked too long. But there was niceness there, too, hidden deep like water under rock. The hurt in his right leg had been around so long he hardly noticed it now. It was there when he walked, a low ache that got worse when the weather changed. There when he bent to set a trap. There when he lay down at night, a beat that sometimes chased sleep away. He'd learned to lean on the left leg without thinking, changing his walk so the limp was hardly there. Being proud, after all, was often all a guy had left. The bump itself had started tiny. He recalled spotting it one winter, maybe 69 or 70, sliding his hand over his leg and feeling something new. Hard, round, way under the skin. He'd pushed on it, felt a quick, sharp hurt, and figured it was likely nothing. A bump, maybe something that would fade on its own if he ignored it. But it didn't fade. Year by year, it got bigger. Slow at first, then quicker. By the mid-70s, it was hen's egg size, a clear swell even under his pants. The skin over it got darker, pulled tight. Sometimes it leaked clear stuff that messed his clothes. Other times it was warm when touched, mad red, and the hurt would go down to his knee and up to his hip. He never went to a dock. The closest was in Redemption Creek, 2 days' ride off the hill. And Silas hadn't gone to town but once a year to swap furs for stuff. Even then, he stayed away from folks as much as he could. Docs asked stuff. They poked and pushed. They made you feel lame for needing aid. Silas had made it this far without them. Whatever was up with his leg, he'd handle that too. The blade he carried had been with him almost as long as the house. The grip was cut from elk horn, smoothed by years of holding. His letters were scratched at the bottom, hard to see now. The sharp part was 8 inches of steel he kept keen enough to shave. He used it for all things. Skinning, slicing rope, cleaning his nails, carving by the fire on long cold nights. It hung on his belt in a leather holder he'd made himself sewn with sinew and marked with a basic design Sarah had picked before she passed. Sarah. He didn't let thoughts of her come often. The sadness was old now, 16 years old, but it could still sneak up. She'd been his wife for 12 years, and they'd been nice years even with the tough stuff. She'd come to the hill with him by choice, a city girl who grew to like the quiet. She'd helped make this life, cared for a tiny garden in the open spot, kept the house warm and tidy. She'd given him a daughter, Clara. That name hit with a different hurt, sharper than the leg, deeper than any scar. She'd been 9 when Sarah died from the flu in 1875, too little to stay on the hill, too little to look after herself. Silas had taken her to Redemption Creek to Sarah's sister and left her there. He told himself it was best. A girl needed learning, needed folks around, needed a life, not this rough one. But the real bit, the bit he couldn't face, was he didn't know how to dad without Sarah to guide him. He hadn't seen Clara in 16 years. She'd be 25 now, a grown lady. He wondered at times if she recalled him, if she hated him for going, if she'd made a life in town and was better without thinking of a dad who'd picked being alone over his kid. The hunting was good last month. September was always prime for beaver and mink, and he'd got nearly 40 skins, all top-notch. They hung from the beams now, filling the house with the scent of treated hide and a light, wild smell. In another couple weeks, when October hit, he'd load them on his mule and head down to swap with Carson, the fur guy who set up in Redemption Creek each fall. Silas stayed solo when he hit town. He'd swap furs for his needs, flour, salt, coffee, tobacco, bullets, and split before anyone talked more than needed. He didn't drink at the bar, didn't go to church, didn't hang around streets. The folks there knew him more by stories than chats. The hill guy, the loner, the one who'd lost his wife and gave up his daughter. Some said he'd been a guide in his young days, that he'd rode with soldiers and knew the land better than any alive. Some said he'd killed more than a few guys in his time, though if they had it coming was up for chat, based on who asked. Some said he was part Shoshone, but that was just guess from how he slipped through woods like he was one with them. Silas never said yes or no to any. Let them guess what they liked. Their thoughts didn't shift his life's facts. The facts were basic. He'd come west in 1858, 18 years old, hunting something he couldn't name. He'd worked guiding wagon groups, learned tracking from native groups, fought when needed, skipped it when he could. He'd been shot twice, stabbed once, and left for dead in a blizzard that should have ended him, but didn't. He met Sarah in 63, wed her in 64, and brought her to this hill, 'cause it was the only spot he'd ever felt calm. The shootout that gave him the limp, the one that left the bullet in his leg. That was in 1868. He'd been 30 years old, teamed up with a guy named Marcus Reed on a digging trip. They'd found a bit, a silver line that promised to make them rich. But talk spread somehow, and a bunch of claim stealers jumped them in a tight canyon. The fight was mean and quick. Marcus fell first, shot in the chest, and Silas just got out. He recalled the fire hurt in his leg, recalled tumbling off his horse a mile from the canyon, recalled crawling to a cave and blacking out from losing blood. When he woke 2 days later, the cut had crusted over. He'd thought the bullet went straight through, that he'd lucked out. The hurt was okay then. Nothing like the shame of ditching Marcus, of living when his buddy didn't. He'd never gone back for the claim. The silver could rot in the dirt for all he cared. Marcus died 'cause of it, and that was a cost too big. But the bullet didn't go through. It stuck deep in the muscle, and his body did what bodies do. It tried to block it off to keep the strange thing contained. For 23 years, that bullet stayed in him, wrapped in scar layers and hard stuff, slowly turning into the lump that now ruled his leg. He should have known it was bad. The way the bump changed over time, growing quicker, getting warmer, the skin turning purple, the way the hurt went from low ache to stabs that made him gasp. The way he got mild fevers at night, sweating his shirt, even in a cold house. But saying it out loud would mean saying he needed help. And that was a step Silas Cord never wanted to take. The fire popped in the fireplace as he sat in his chair that night, the one he'd cut from one pine piece. Outside, the aspens were going gold, and the elk were starting their calls. He could hear them sounding far off, that spooky noise that bounced through the valleys. Fall was his top season. The air was fresh and sharp. The hunting was solid, and the summer wanderers in the high spots had gone back. He slid his hand over his leg, feeling the lump under his palm. It was warm tonight, warmer than usual, and the skin felt tight in a way that bugged him even if he wouldn't say it. He pushed lightly, felt the throb back, and pulled his hand off. It would be okay. It always was. He just needed rest, needed to stay off it for a day or two. Come October, he'd do his town run, swap furs, and be back on the hill before first snow. That was the plan. That was always the plan. Keep going ahead, one day after another, and don't dwell too much on what might come next. The wind got stronger outside, whistling past the pines and shaking the windows. Silas tossed another log on the fire and sank deeper in his chair. Tomorrow he'd look at the trap line by Willow Creek. There was sign of a good beaver there, and the skin would bring nice cash if he caught it. After that, maybe elk hunt. His winter food was low on meat, and a big bull would last till spring. He shut his eyes, letting the fire's heat soak into him. The hurt in his leg beat with his heart, a known beat he'd learned to skip. Outside, the hill went dark, huge and not caring and forever. And somewhere deep in Silas Cord's body, something waiting 23 years was ready at last to show itself. The hurt woke him before sunup. Not the usual low ache he'd got used to, but something sharp and pushy, like a hot stick on bone. Silas opened his eyes to dark, his breath quick more than it should. The fire was down to glows, giving just enough light to see. He grabbed his leg without thinking, and his hand came wet. He sat up fast, and the room spun. His leg was beating now, each thump sending heat waves up his back. He pulled back the blanket and looked. Even in low light, he saw the dark spot growing on his pants, soaking the wool. The cloth stuck to his skin, heavy with stuff. For a bit, he just sat trying to get what was going on. Then the smell hit sweet and bad like meat too long in sun. His belly flipped, but he made himself stay chill. He'd handled cuts before. This was just one more issue to fix, one more test to beat with will and smart steps. He stood biting his teeth on the hurt and got to the table with his lamp. His hand shook as he hit the match, but he lit the wick on try too. Yellow light filled the house, and he saw his leg right for the first time. The bump had ripped open. A rough split ran over the top, maybe 3 inches long, and stuff was flowing out. Not just the clear leak he knew, but thicker, yellowy, mixed with blood. The skin by the cut was purple-black, stretched so it looked set to rip more any second. Silas pulled his knife from his belt and sliced off his pant leg, showing the full mess. The lump that grew for 23 years had finally broke from its own push. The sides of the torn skin were rough and red, and he could see deeper in the cut than he liked. Flesh, fat, something white and hard under it all. He needed to wash it. He limped to the shelf with his fix stuff. Not a lot, just whiskey, clean cloths, and a needle with string for sewing. He poured whiskey right in the cut, and the hurt blew up white-hot in his eyes. He heard himself make a noise, like a gasp and groan mix, and braced on the table to not fall. When he could see again, he looked. The whiskey washed off some gunk, and now he saw what made the swell. Something hard was stuck there, something that sure didn't belong. He grabbed a clean cloth, pressed around the cut edges, and pushed lightly to see if he could nudge whatever it was out. More stuff drained, thick and nasty, soaking the cloth quick. He tossed it and got another, pushed again. The thing moved a bit, and he felt it shift under fingers. He pushed harder, skipping the hurt, just on getting this weird thing out of him. And then it popped free, dropped on the cloth with a soft thud, a twisted lump of metal gray, black, and crusty with hard tissue. Silas stared, his brain not getting what he saw. He picked it with shaky fingers, flipped it in the lamplight. The metal was flat on one side, spread from hit. The other side had lines, grooves that must be from a gun barrel twist. A bullet. It hit him like a real hit. This was a bullet. This had been in him 23 years. Since that canyon day, when Marcus fell and Silas just got away alive, he'd thought the shot went clean through. Folks thought if you got shot, you die or the bullet goes out the other side. That's how it went. Except this time, it didn't go that way at all. The bullet stuck in his leg, deep in muscle, and his body spent more than 2 decades trying to hold it, building scar walls around it, hardening it, sealing like a pearl in a shell, layer on layer till the lump got too big, and the push got too much, and the whole bit finally broke. He sat down hard, the bullet still in his hand. His leg was bleeding steady now, not gushing but running dark red on pale skin. He should wrap it, should stuff it to stop bleeding, should do lots of smart stuff his brain was listing calm, but he couldn't move. He could only sit staring at this lead bit that had been him longer than he'd known his daughter. The memories rushed back, clear and sharp after being hidden so long. The canyon with high walls and tight path. How sun came through, making shapes on red rock. Marcus excited about the silver they found. Talking how they'd hit big, how they could quit and live fancy. The bang of guns bouncing off stone. The mess of guys and horses and flashes. Marcus dropping. Blood on rocks. The burn in Silas's leg as he turned his horse. The wild ride out the canyon. The chase shots. The mile he made before strength quit and he fell. The cave he crawled to hide. The fever dreams. The days to get strong enough for back to folks. He'd thought Marcus dead. How he fell, the chest shot, no way to live that. Silas told himself nothing he could do. Going back meant dying, too. He'd taken the shame and hid it deep, same as his body hid this bullet. And he'd never gone back for the claim. The silver could stay for all he cared. It cost Marcus life and nearly his. But now, holding this bullet, he got he'd carried that day all along. Really. The proof of the jump, the sign of the fight had been in him, rotting, growing, waiting for now to come out and make him recall. A dizzy wave hit him, and he knew the signs. Fever, lost blood, bad stuff starting. The cut was still leaking and the smell worse. He made himself focus. Stuffed the cut with clean cloths, tied tight with strips from an old shirt, poured more whiskey over all, biting leather to not yell. The hurt was worse than he'd ever felt, worse than getting the bullet first. When done, he was wet with sweat in the cold. His hands kept shaking. He tried standing and almost fell, grabbing the table edge. The room spun again, and black spots danced at his side edges. He needed to lay, needed rest, needed his body to fight the bad stuff taking hold. He got to bed somehow, though he couldn't recall steps from table to bed. He lay in lamplight, the bullet still in his fist, and felt fever rise. Heat came off his skin. His leg beat with his heart, each thump a note that something went real wrong in him. As he started fading, one thought got clear. He couldn't do this solo. The cut was too deep, the bad stuff too far. If he stayed on this hill, if he kept handling alone, he'd die. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. The body could only handle so much. He'd lived 23 years with bullet in leg. He'd lived losing Sarah, lived giving up Clara, lived every tough bit the hill threw. But this was different. This was his body fighting him. The bill finally due for years of ignoring and stubbornness and pride. He had to go to town, had to see the doc, had to say he needed help, something he hadn't since carrying Clara down the hill and leaving her with others. The idea scared him bad. But under that was something else. Relief maybe, or just tired. He was worn out. Worn of holding all alone. Worn of acting like being alone was same as being strong. Worn of the load he'd carried, both the real bullet and the heart load of being alone. Outside, the sky started light. Morning came with a pick. He could stay and die, or eat his pride and ride to Redemption Creek. Face the doc, the town, the daughter unseen in 16 years. Face judgment and pity and all he'd spent half-life dodging. The fever pulled him under before he could pick, yanking him to dreams of canyons and shots and a lead bit that waited 2 decades to share its tale. The trip down the hill took 2 days, not the usual one. Silas stopped lots, getting off when hurt got too bad, leaning on trees while world tipped and spun. His mule held supplies, steady and calm, while he fought to stay on saddle. The fever waved, hot burn, then shivers in his coat. Despite September sun, by time Redemption Creek showed, he was barely awake. The town was in a dip where 2 creeks met, maybe 300 people, in spots from real shops to tents so old they seemed forever. The main road was rutted mud with posts for horses and water spots. He saw the store, the bar, the assayer's spot, and there the place with hand sign Dr. Whitmore, physician and surgeon. Silas led his horse to the docks and somehow got off without dropping. His leg wouldn't take full weight now. He hopped on the good leg, using the post for hold, and even that easy move sent knife hurts through him. He tied the horse with shaky fingers, then got to the door. He pushed open and almost fell in. The room inside was tidy and bright, sun through lace curtains. Shelves with bottles and jars, exam table with white cloth, chairs for waiting. Behind a desk was a man in 60s, silver hair and sharp eyes, in vest and rolled sleeves. He looked up from papers and his face went right from curious to worry. "Good Lord," the doc said, getting up. "Sit before you drop." Silas wanted to fight, wanted to say fine, but his body lied. His knees buckled and the doc grabbed him. Strong for his age. Together they got to the exam table where Silas sat heavy, breathing hard from try. "I'm Dr. Elias Whitmore," the man said, already at Silas's leg. "How long you been going with this?" 2 days, Silas got out. His voice sounded odd to him, rough and far. 2 days. And before that, how long this been bad? Silas didn't answer. He was too on not fainting as the doc cut the quick wrap. The cloth stuck to the cut, dry blood and pus like glue. Each tug brought new hurt, and Silas gripped table edge so hard his knuckles white. When the cut was out, the doc went real still. "When did this happen?" 3 days ago. "It burst." "Burst?" The doc leaned closer, checking the rough tear with pro-care. This isn't new cut. This is old stuff that finally broke. How long you had this lump? 23 years. The doc's head jerked up, eyes big. 23 years. You've been walking with this over 2 decades and never got help. Silas met his gaze didn't seem needed. Didn't seem... The doc stopped himself, breathed, and seemed to calm on purpose. I'm gonna clean this right. It's real infected. The stuff around is dead. If we don't quick, you looking at gangrene. And if gang gets deep, we talk amputation. The word hung like death word. Amputation. Losing leg, half man, needing others rest of days. Silas felt cold in chest. There has to be other way, he said. There might. The doc went to supply shelf, picked bottles and tools with easy practice. But get how bad this is. This bad stuff is all over. You got high fever. The cut is deep and bad. We try hard fix first cleaning, cutting dead, anti-bad stuff. Watch close. But if bad spreads, if we see more dead stuff beyond now, no choice. He came back with hands full basin water, bottles carbolic acid and iodine, clean cloths, and surgery tools that flipped Silas's belly. Probes, scissors-curved blades, something like small grabs. This gonna hurt, the doc said plain. I can give laudanum for hurt, but it fogs you. Some guys like clear head. No laudanum, Silas said. The doc nodded, not shocked. Then bite this. He gave Silas thick leather strip and try not move. The next 20 minutes were test of hold on. The doc worked fast, sure moves, cleaning cut with carbolic acid that burned like fire liquid. He used probes for depth, scissors cut dead stuff, grabs remove bits of hard stuff the bullet left. Silas bit leather till jaw hurt, sweat down face. Every muscle tight to stay still. Through it, the doc kept talking explain, more to self than Silas. The body tried to wrap the strange thing. Usual way. Build cyst round it. Layer scar tissue and calcium bits. But the bullet was rotting, letting metals into near stuff. Lead poison likely long. That explained tired low fevers. The cyst grew and finally pushed too much. Weak spot broke. He stopped work, holding bit he took. This amazing. Actually, I read cases like this in doc books, but never saw one. Human body tougher than we think. You should died years ago, bad stuff, blood poison, lots issues. Instead, your body held the danger and kept you alive. Doesn't feel kept alive, Silas said through tight teeth. No, I bet not. The doc went back work. But think you've been walking, working, living full for over 2 decades with bullet in thigh muscle. Fact you hear it all shows how hard your body fought for you. Finally, after what felt hours but likely 20 minutes, the doc stepped back. That's all I can now. Cut clean or as I can. Gonna pack with poultice, herbs fight bad, and wrap tight. You need off it total at least week. No walk, no ride, nothing weight on leg. I need back. No, the doc said firm. You don't get. If you try back uphill now, you die. Not oversay or scare. That's doc fact. The bad in leg trying spread. Your body fights but tired. You need rest, good food, clean place, daily cut care. Can you do that in your house? Silas wanted argue, but truth he couldn't. House alone, stuff limited, and he no shape care self right. He shut eyes, feeling lose heavy. Where stay? Boarding house 2 streets, run by woman Clara Henshaw. She keeps clean, good food. I'll send she coming, Clara. Name hit like gut punch. Couldn't be. Clara would keep mom maiden name Madison. Unless married. Unless she made life, he knew 0. This Clara, he said careful. What she look like? The doc gave odd look. Mid-20s, brown hair, tall for lady. Runs tight. No nonsense. Why? It was her. Had to be his daughter here running boarding house. All time he thought her kid in others' care. Never thought grown able make business. Thought filled with mixed pride and shame. No reason, he said. Just like nowhere staying. The doc finished bandage leg, layers clean white cloth till secure. Then he got crutches from room corner. These help move till leg heals. No weight on it. I mean, really not even bit. Want to see you daily next week. Need watch close. Silas took crutches, tested weight on them. Solid wood, well made, cross parts padded cloth. Moving awkward slow, but better than hop. What I owe, he asked. Settle when healed. For now, focus not dying. The doc opened door, then stopped. One more, that bullet, you still have it? Silas reached pocket-pulled flat lead bit. He'd kept without real why. This metal been him so long? The doc took, flipped in hands. Like keep if you no mind. For records, cases like yours rare worth noting. Silas waited, then nodded. Bullet caused enough trouble. Let other carry while. He went outside, slow, careful, on crutches. Boarding house where Doc said. Two-story with fresh white paint and flower boxes windows. Sign on porch. Henshaw's rooms, clean beds, good meals. Silas stood bottom porch steps, looking door. Somewhere inside his daughter, kid he left 16 years back. She likely no he town yet? No he standing trying figure face her after time? He could go other stays, other plans make. But body picked for him. Another dizzy hit, he grabbed rail stay up. He needed lay, needed rest food, all Doc said. Pride one thing, but live another. He climbed steps one time, leaning hard on crutches, reached door handle, pushed open face daughter he'd left, and reckoning waited 16 long years. Inside boarding house warm smelled baking bread. Front room like sitting spot, comfy chairs, round fireplace lace curtains let afternoon light. Desk near door, behind it woman writing ledger. She looked at Dr. Sound, time stopped. Clara had mom eyes deep brown, smart, could show more feeling than words. But rest all Silas, strong jaw, high cheeks, way she held self with quiet skill from years handling alone. Hair pulled practical bun, simple dress apron over. Ink marks on fingers. For long bit they stared. Silas saw knowing hit her face. Saw look go pro, welcome to shock to harder complicated. She set pen careful. You need room? Voice level, controlled, no giveaway. Doc Whitmore said, you might have one. I have some. She pulled key drawer, no look him. Second floor, hall end. $2 week breakfast supper. No drink rooms. No guests after 9. No smoke bed. She held key Silas crossroom take. Up close, saw fine lines eyes, rough hands. This no little girl, he recalled. This woman built from zero, lived, thrived, no him. Clara, he started. Mrs. Henshaw, she fixed. I use late husband name business. Late husband? She married. He missed that too, all else. I don't know you Redemption Creek, he said. I been here 12 years since Aunt Margaret died. She went back ledger note. Supper 6 if need bell room. Send away clear. Silas wanted say more. Wanted explain or sorry or something, but words no come. He'd 16 years dodging this talk, now here, no clue start. So he did always, he backed, turned stairs, made slow, awkward up crutches. Room hall end, small clean. Single bed quilt, wash stand, basin pitcher, chair window. Simple, works, what he needed. He sat on bed, felt every year age and bones. Through floor, hear house sounds, steps, voices, dish clatter from kitchen. Clara voice, clear firm, giving orders someone. She sounds sure, control, nothing like scared 9 year he left. He must dozed, 'cause next, knock door. Light window changed, gold late afternoon. Come, he called. Door open Clara with tray. She set small table, bed, no fuss. Bowl stew, thick bread, coffee cup. Smell made belly tight hunger. He no recall last eat. Doc Whitmore stopped, she said. Told make sure eat. Said rest keep off leg, I will. She turned go, Silas heard self say, I know no husband. Sorry loss. Clara stopped doorway, back him. Thomas died 3 years. Log accident. We married 7 years. You love him? What question that? Honest one. She turned face him first time real feeling broke careful hold. Yes, loved him. He kind decent. He stayed more than some. Words hit mark. Silas took 'cause earned. You right angry. I'm not angry. She crossed arms. I angry 9 left Aunt Margaret never back. Angry 12 no come mom's service. Angry 16 no answer letters sent. But not angry now. I'm just... She stopped word hunt. Empty. Were you concerned? Empty. Silas faced bears outlaws every frontier hard. But nothing ready for look daughter eyes. Not hate, not anger. Weary no care hurt worse and he cut. I know no letters, he said quiet. Course no. Too busy alone he'll care anyone else. She left before respond, shut door behind, controlled. Not slam would show fire feeling, just firm, close said, talk over. Silas ate stew 'cause body need fuel, not taste. Then pulled small leather pouch from cabin. Inside Sarah locket, one worn everyday marriage. Silver dull now, clasp stuck. He'd found her stuff after died, kept years, no toss, no give Clara when too young value. He set bedside layback stair ceiling. House settled evening sounds, doors shut, water run, low voices other rooms. This what normal do he got. They live houses others. They routines talks connections. They know shut self hills pretend alone same strength. Over next day's pattern came. Doc Whitmore came morning check cut. Change wrap, check bad. News careful good. Hard fix seam work. Mad red fade pink. Swell down. Fever broke second day, no return. You lucky, Doc said fourth day. Or stubborn both. Bad going back. Might save leg, might, still risk. Bad can return if not careful. But follow orders, rest, clean. No strain leg. Should full recover. Well, full as expected damage. Silas spent day's room, watched street window. Saw Clara go come, errands, carry stuff, greet guests. She moved world purpose, sure. Woman built life, no help. He proud. But under deep regret, all years missed. Bullet became town talk. Word spread, mountain man carried lead 23 years, people curious. Some stopped. Boarding hope meet, but Clara sent away. Doc Seam kept word, keep case records, but told few work pals, gossip fast, small town. Fifth day, Clara brought breakfast, self not hired girl. Set tray about leave when Silas spoke. Mom wanted give this, held locket. I should years ago. Clara stared, moment careful, face slipped. Saw grief raw, unhealed years. I can't, hers, now yours. I said can't, voice sharp. Don't get, if take that, let give something mattered means forgiven you. Haven't, don't know if can, not asking forgive. Then what asking? Question hung big, no answer. What he asking? Chance explain, make up? Turn time different pics? None possible. Just thought have hers, he said last. Clara looked locket long, then him. Why now? Why down mountain after years? No choice. Wound, not wound. Why now try be whatever this father? 16 years late that. No. Do you? She closer, he sea-shake with held feeling. Any idea what like? 9 lose both parents, 6 months? Mom died, you alive, but might been dead all good did me. Aunt Margaret tried, but old sick. Learned cook, clean, care her. And she died, 16 alone, figure survive. Thomas found tricell mom things pay rent. He helped. Stranger helped more own dad ever. Silas took each word like hit, take 'cause true. Right all it? I no want right want? She stopped, hand mouth. No know what want now. She picked locket, held palm. Keep this. Not forgive, but hers she want me have. But no mistake for makeup. She left Silas sat alone, weight all lost. Leg healing, Doc said. But deeper cuts. Ones he gave through know their pride. Wrong think alone protect. Those no heal easy. That evening, knock door. He thought Clara or hired girl, but instead man no. 50-ish, nice clothes with sure from cash power. Held fancy hat, hands wore smile, no reach eyes. Mr. Cord, Jasper Crane. Wonder moment your time. Silas gut, sharp decades live. Right alert. Something this guy bugged. What want? I heard your wild tale. 23 years bullet leg. Quite wild. I'm kinda history fan, you see, always like stories old days. He pointed chair. May? Against better think, Silas nodded. Crane sat, hat knee careful. Bullet removed, Crane said. Here from old hurt. 1868, think Doc said. Right. You dig in time? 1860s boom silver this area. There was. Real reason visit. Silas kept face blank. Did some digging. No much, shame. Doc said bullet odd bits. Flat way, metal make. Thought maybe from gun custom bullets. Kind expensive, use serious dig ops or well or by men guard big claims. Point this? Crane leaned. Be straight. Dad in dig this area that time. Kept lots notes. Found interesting. Note silver claim found 1868 2 diggers. Marcus Reed Silas Cord. Claim no filed, no built. Dad thought both men died fight claim stealers. But here you alive. Silas no say. Like proposed team, Crane went. If claim there, if silver there, we both make big. I got stuff, tools, men pull right. Need location? Give you 40% what find. No interested, Silas said flat. 45% then? More nice. Partner died that claim. Silver there, stay ground. Crane smiled tight. Noble, but no sense. You in boarding, Mr. Cord? Got dock care sure costly. Man your spot, use money, I talk. Enough live, easy rest days. I manage. Do? Crane stood, hat back, head. Think, times change. Frontier days end. Men us need smart future. Give few days think. No bother, answer no change. Crane doorstop. All changes, Mr. Cord. Sometimes want or no. He tipped hat left. Silas sat growing dark, worry gut. Jasper Crane no take no easy. Way spoke dad, dig ops, claim stealers, history there, none felt right. Men like Crane, no casual visits. Came want something, no leave no hand without fight. He thought claim about Marcus about that day canyon 23 years back. Spent decades try forget, try bury deep as bullet leg. But now both dug up, he feeling this only start reckoning. 2 weeks passed, Silas leg kept heal. Wound closed enough some weight, though Doc Whitmore warned no push too quick too hard. Crutches still needed, but short walks now, and constant hurt dulled okay ache. Jasper Crane no return, but feel like smoke. Silas saw him sometimes window Business Street. Talk sheriff, go assayer office. Each time Silas felt warning prick. Gut say this man dangerous ways, no guns fists. Clara kept careful space. Polite but formal, treat like any boarder. Brought meals, took rent, asked med needs, perfect pro, nice, zero, warm. Like live ghost daughter there, but no touch. Thursday afternoon, Doc Whitmore came daily visit found Silas window watch street below. Leg good, Doc said after check wound. Few weeks you ride again. Probably backhill winter. Probably, Silas agreed. Though thought no bring relief should. Go back mean leave Clara again. This time feel less protect, more scared. Doc settled chair. Usual sign want talk beyond med. They built something like friend over weeks. Built, shared, see violence, live it. Crane asking questions town. Doc said old Silver hits men missing 60s about you. Let ask. Not just ask, digging. Went old territory notes land office. Talk every old who might recall boom days. Doc paused. He's spreading money, buy drinks saloon, give church, pay debts strugglers, make popular. Point Jasper Crane patient, but no forgive. Want something, gets. Right now want info that claim. Silas looked Doc. What know his dad? Josiah Crane ran biggest dig up territory 60s, 70s. Made fortune silver, but always rumors, claims odd abandon. Diggers who gone. Nothing proven, but Doc shrugged. Man rich quick dig country, usually bodies behind. What him? Died 85. Some heart. Some drink. Some guilt ate inside. Jasper got all. Mines, money, rep. Spent last 6 years find new lines, but easy silver gone. Needs big hit, keep dad legacy. Pieces fit Silas mind, make picture no like. Men jumped us 68. You think work Josiah Crane? No proof, but guess yes, his op biggest he money higher guns. Doc lean, here worry. If Josiah try take claim force failed, Jasper might try same. Different ways maybe, same goal. No give location. No suggest should. Suggest careful. Watch back. No go alone till healed defend self. After Doc left, Silas thought Marcus Reed. They met 67. Two guys luck down, decide pool, try dig. Marcus younger, mid-20s, quick laugh, full dreams hit rich. Talk house buy, woman marry, life build, share what find. Spent months search high, follow lines nowhere, dig test pits nothing but rock. Then May 68, found silver line, narrow canyon, rich make both rich. So excited, careless. Someone must follow. Must see Mark claim. Must report who pay info. Ambush 3 days later. 6 men rifles wait canyon mouth. Firefight brief mean. Marcus chest bullet first volley. Silas saw fall, try reach, caught round leg effort. Pure gut took over. Get horse, out canyon live. Ridden till strength out. Think Marcus dead claim lost. 23 years carried shame leave partner. Now wonder if Marcus real died canyon or worse. If Crane's behind ambush, they want info. Want no exact feign. Dead man no talk, but wounded one could. Thought made sick. That evening, Clara brought supper self again. She done more lately, though. Whether on purpose or chance, he no tell. She set tray turned leave. But Silas spoke before door. Mom knew claim, he said. About Silver, about Marcus. Told her all when finally back folks. She begged no look. Said cost too much. Clara stopped. No turn. Why tell me this? 'Cause man, Jasper Crane wants claim info, afraid might use you get. His dad might ordered ambush. If figures you daughter, everyone know I daughter. Clara said small town. Figured day you came. Then be careful. Crane I take care self. Now she turn eyes fierce. Been 16 years. No need protect you now. Clara, please don't. She hand up. Don't act worry me. If worry been here years ago when really need. This no protect me. This ease your mind. Words sting 'cause truth, but no all truth. Right I failed you, but no mean stand watch you hurt 'cause my past. My past too, she said quiet. Like or no, your pics shape my life. Fact you walk no change that. She went window, looked dark street. Thomas knew, about you. Told him all, how left, how felt. He said, maybe broken way no fix. Generous him. He generous man? She quiet moment. When he died, understood something how you felt mom died. No excuse what did, but understood weight. How grief make do things no sense others. Closest understand she offered since he came. Silas want reach, build, but afraid say wrong shatter fragile bit. Loved mom more own life. He said when died, felt half me died too. Clara, you look so her. Every see you like see ghost. Thoughts send away protect you, my grief. I no get till years later just protect self. Clara, shoulders tight, he see fight feelings no want. No do with that any this. You no do anything. Just try honest. Finally, they stood silence. Distance between physical vast. Finally, Clara spoke no look him. Crane came boarding 3 days. Asked you, told no close. No know your business. He no believe. Silas blood cold, what say? Family ties deep, whether we say or no. Fathers often tell daughters, specially try make up past wrong. She turned face him. Offered money, lot money. Said, if find claim spot, give enough grow boarding, maybe buy place full. What tell? Toll, get out my place. Steel voice. No like you much now, no if ever, but no sell you man like that. Relief through him, then fear her safe. He no take no answer. No. Dealt men like before. Thomas face claim stealers when first buy building. Used mining office, some men thought rights. Stood ground. Her look soft bit. Taught stand ground, no mean fight. Sometimes just no move. This different. Crane resources, connections. Know what has. All town knows. Owns sheriff. Owns half business. Owns debts leverage cross him. But no own me, no own building. She straight. Whatever you in, whatever claim about, keep me out. But no threatened own home. With that she left. Silas alone. Thoughts growing dread. Crane made move, not one Silas thought. Instead, direct man circling, look weak spots, found weakest Clara. Not 'cause she sold Silas, but threaten her sure way get reaction. Silas need claim papers. Still hidden cabin. Tucked hollow beam kept 23 years. If Crane got them, have all need. Exact spot, edges, mineral rights. But go back cabin mean least 4 days horse, no healed that yet unless thought slow. Bin think had trip alone. But Clara said care self. And if Crane watch, see travel together might make man think again approach. 2 harder scare than 1 was risk. Ask Clara help to choose involve mess after all he put through. She right refuse, but might chance too. On trail together, away careful formal boarding, away wait 16 years quiet. Chance talk honest. Maybe start heal wounds ran deeper any bullet reach. Next morning, waited till brought breakfast. When set tray, he spoke before leave. Need get something cabin. Claim papers. Only proof I own. If Crane gets, paused. Need bring somewhere safe. Maybe bank, maybe land office, but no make trip alone yet. Doc says week lease before ride far. Clara frowned. What asking? Come me. Help get papers. 2-day ride there, 2 back. Back before anyone noticed gone. You want me leave business, 4 days help protect claim got partner killed. Want help make sure Crane no get wants. Enforced self-honest. Want chance talk you. Real talk no walls between us. She crossed arms. Convenient. Need help, sudden want makeup. Right. Timing convenient, but no make less true. Clara quiet long, he see fight behind eyes. Finally said, think about. She left. Silas spent day try no think always go wrong. But evening near, Clara back room. Stood doorway, arms crossed, face no read. Do it, she said. No forgive. No want dad-daughter bond, but Crane threaten own boarding made angry. Want no real about. If tangled mess together, deserve get why. Fair. Leave dawn tomorrow. Arrange Maggie run boarding gone. Need ride? Manage that? Manage. Then rest. Hard trail no fully healed. No slow if no keep. She start leave, then pause. And Silas, whatever find there, whatever truth out, you no hide anymore. No secrets. No run away. If do this, do honest. Agreed, he said. After left, Silas sat dark, feel weight set motion. Tomorrow back hill, daughter. They get papers, prove own claim, cost 1 man life hidden Silas body over 2 decades. And somewhere 4 days find brave, tell Clara all. Not just silver, but Marcus, guilt. All reasons chose alone over family. Leg throbbed prep bed. Reminder some wounds take longer, heal others. But tomorrow least, stop run. Tomorrow face past 1 person, right hate for it. And maybe, just maybe, both find way forward. Entry went on. Marcus writing shakier. Gonna hide journal where Silas might find someday. If reading this, old friend, no blame you leave. Did what survive. But listen careful. Claim sacred ground. 2 bears right. Silver through Cheyenne burial spots. Should never touched. Copies cash. If want justice happen here, use. But want peace, leave silver ground belongs. Some things no worth cost. Here come back. Josiah carry knife. Think know what next. Tell Sarah sorry. Tell little girl dad good man, even if no always believe self. Wait carry kill if no learn set down. Marcus, journal entry end there, but more pages. Clara turned, found entries different writing, smaller, more tight. Dated 3 weeks after ambush. This no Marcus, Clara said. Someone else wrote. Silas took journal, read new entries. Observations, notes area, about Silas moves. Someone tracking him, watch him. Entries mention Sarah, cabin, Clara, baby. They detail Silas town trips, tradeways, habits. Final entry dated September 1875, month Sarah died. Subject wife dead. Flu official, but symptoms match arsenic poison. Recommend keep watch. Subject must know learn truth 1868 or ongoing ops. Claim secure long he believe Reed died quick. No reason return. Keep distance but watch any signs look. Meanings hit Silas like real blow. Sarah no die flu. Murdered, poisoned, reason these pages keep him alone. Keep from ever look what real happened, Marcus. Keep from claim. Clara read over shoulder, face pale. They killed Mom, keep you quiet. Keep you this hill. Silas no speak, no breathe. 16 years carried shame, Sarah death, think failed get help time. But murdered. Murdered same men killed Marcus. Murdered 'cause Silas lived ambush might someday look answers. We need leave, Clara said, voice shake but sure. Need get cash, get papers back town. This journal proof. Papers prove own. Take this to territory marshal, someone no crane pocket. Silas forced focus through rage, grief, want, overwhelm. She right. Had proof now, proof murder plot. But alone wild. And if crane men watch cabin, might know journal. Gathered supplies carry food, water, bullets, rifle Silas kept cabin. Clara packed journal, careful oilcloth, protect weather. Outside, sunset paint hills red gold remind Silas blood fire. 3 hours cash. Silas said, trail rough, special dark. Sure want this tonight? Clara met eyes that moment, saw Sarah look back. Same strong sure, same no back what right? They killed Mom, watched us decades. Stole us, yes sure. Rode out dark fall, leave cabin. Moonrise, bright see once eyes adjust. Silas led, follow trails, new heart. Legs scream each step, but mind on end. Behind him, Clara rode quiet. He knew process all learned. All reveals turned past, understand inside out. Trail climbed high country, follow ridge lines, cross streams, full snow melt peaks above. Air colder gain height, Silas see breath moonlight. Somewhere far wolf howl, answer others pack. Sound remind no alone here, wild dangers beyond man bad. Reached cache just after midnight. Exact Silas recall, stone shelter built hillside, part hide brush fallen logs. Entrance low, make duck enter. Inside, dark smell, earth, old smoke. Silas lit candle brought, small space show. Cache maybe 8 feet ceiling, barely stand. Stone walls dry, past travelers left stuff, years matches, dry food, few old blankets. Silas starts search careful, look any sign Marcus here. Any hide spot used, Clara found. Loose stone back wall, easy miss, no look. She pulled, reached space behind, pulled leather paper case wrap oilcloth. Leather dry, brittle. But open careful, papers inside okay, claim papers, detail surveys, legal bound describe. All double one set filed official. One set hide here insurance, and more. Map Marcus writing show no just claim spot, but mark areas label Cheyenne sacred sites burial grounds. Notes side. Silver line direct through area. 2 bears say people no forgive disturb. Should pick different spot. He knew, Clara said soft. Marcus knew on sacred ground tried warn you. No listen, thought over careful. Silas stared map all warns Marcus note, no listen. Young dumb thought rich most important. Both young, Clara said. But least Marcus sense document all leave trail follow. She gathered papers careful. This need, proof own. Proof sacred issue. Cheyenne nation say mining burial sites. That leverage crane, prepare leave heard. Sound horses outside. Multiple horses move careful, but no enough hide come full. Silas blow candle right dark us. How many, Clara whisper. Silas listen. Count hoof sounds, leather creak, low voices. Men try quiet. 4, maybe 5. Follow us, how no? Cabin must watched. Or track since left town. No matter now, trapped. Only one way in out cache. Outside voices louder. Someone orders, tell men surround area. Then voice, Silas no Jasper Crane. Mr. Cord no there. You daughter, have 5 armed men, you nowhere go. Talk like sense people. Silas moved entrance, stay shadow. Nothing talk, Crane? Oh, think do. Think found interesting cache. Something Marcus Reed left. Maybe papers search. See, Dad kept journals too. Wrote claim, ambush, loose ends never tied. When found journals last year, got claims still there, valuable. Knew if anyone lead read backup papers, you. So had cabin search. Had watched. When road daughter, new go. Been patient, Mr. Cord. Now patience paid. Hand papers. Both right away. Keep. Well, lots ways people die mountains. Accidents happen. Accidents happen. Clara touched Silas' arm. Can't give papers. Without no proof. No leverage. No justice, Marcus' mother. Right. But Silas, look, 5-to-1 odds daughter-life balance. Failed protect Sarah. Failed Clara 16 years. No fail now. Need time think, Silas called. You 5 minutes, Crane reply. Then come. Silas turned Clara dark. Another way out. Crawl space back leads crevice hillside. Narrow, dangerous, but opens 50 yards down slope. Used storage, keep things cold summer. If fit through what you? Buy time. Give head start. Once clear, ride town. Get Doc Whitmore. Show all found. No contact. How get right, folks? How make sure this right hands? No leave here. Clara no. Her voice fierce, dark. No get sacrifice self. Not after all. Not after just found mom murdered, dad spent 16 years grieve should seek justice. Leave together or no at all. Silas felt something open chest. Pride, fear, love, forgot could feel. Stubborn as mom. Good, now show crawl space. Had maybe 3 minutes. Silas led back cash, show gap stones, open natural path. Tight, barely wider shoulders, but there. Clara first, crawl belly with paper case strap back. Silas follow, wound leg, scream, drag, self-stone, scrape, catch clothes. Behind, hear Crane voice. Time up, Mr. Cord. Sound men enter cash, boot scrape stone. Silas kept move. Path seemed forever. Press all sides. But finally felt Clara hand grab his, pull forward wider space. Emerged hillside, hide brush dark. Below see Crane men round cash entrance, hear shouts mad, realize prey escaped. But Silas knew minutes most before men spread. Search hillside. Horses, Clara whisper. Where? There. Silas point where tide mounts 100 yards away. Between them, horses, 2 Crane men guard animals. No time, careful plan. No time but action. Silas check rifle. Look, Clara. Can shoot? Thomas taught. Decent. Good enough. Take pistol. When move, cover man left. Take right. No try kill, just make mess get horses. Clara nodded. Take pistol steady hands. Silas felt pride surge. Mom, daughter, brave matter, steady pressure. But also his daughter mean inherit stubborn no quit. Move down hillside quiet could use brush cover. 30 yards out, Silas raise rifle fire shot air. 2 guards spin sound. That confusion moment. Clara fire pistol ground near left guard feet. Man jump back, shout, think under attack. Silas Clara run horses. Guards bring weapons, but slow surprise, lost sudden attack. Silas reach mount first, swing saddle despite leg pain. Clara right behind, then riding, race down trail shouts gunfire behind. Bullet whiz past Silas' head. Another dirt near horse hooves, but move fast now, dark make bad targets. Trail twist down trees, minutes put distance pursuers. Road hard hour, follow paths, Silas knew hard track dark. Finally, sure no follow, called stop. Dismount small clearing, both breath hard, adrenaline still run. You hit? Clara asked, check wounds. No, you know, she laughed, bit wild sound. Just escaped 5 men laughing. Thomas say lost mind, Mom say magnificent. Silas touched shoulder. You were, you know, magnificent. Never more proud anyone life. Clara eyes tears but blink back. Don't make feel things now. Need stay angry you little longer. Fair enough. Road rest night, follow trails eventually lead back Redemption Creek dawn break mountains, paint all rose gold. Silas realized shift between. No reconciled. Clara clear that, but something. Allies maybe. Partners seek justice both lost. And first time 16 years, Silas let self hope maybe, just maybe, path forward no die alone hill. Left Redemption Creek sunbreak, East Peaks paint sky gold pink. Clara sat horse like born it, straight shore, lead pack mule load supplies. Silas follow, leg complain every step but handle. Morning air, crisp autumn promise, Aspen's peak. Riot yellow dark green pines, first hour road quiet. Clara steady pace, no too fast, but no slow suggest help injury. She meant what said no slow, Silas respect. Spent many years treated able accept pity. Trail climbed steady. Follow creek, tumble high. Silas knew every turn, every mark. Every spot path split one safe, other dead ends. This is land, walked 30 years. Come back, Clara felt odd, like 2 separate life parts crash. Around mid-morning, Clara finally spoke. Tell claim. Whole story, no bits. So, Silas told. Described meet Marcus Reed. Months no luck dig. Thrill find silver line. Way celebrate sure fortunes made. Careless way mark sight no think who watch. Ambush 3 days later. Marcus down first, Silas said, voice rougher intend. Shot chest. Tried reach, took bullet leg. All after confuse, hurt, blood, ride till no. Assumed dead. 23 years carried assume, but no sure now. Doc Whitmore told Josiah Crane rep. Diggers gone, claims abandoned mystery. If Crane's behind ambush, no just leave Marcus. Would want info, exact vein spot. Clara took this. So might live shooting just killed later. Possible, no. But think if Marcus alive when they found, if talked before died, why no they file claim? Why sat untouched years? Maybe no tell. Or maybe told something make no want. Marcus superstitious some. Talk spirits, curses, respect land. Never paid attention. But Silas paused. Something said once Canyon found silver. Said bad feel like dig where no should. Laughed off. Stop noon rest horses eat food Clara packed. Sat fallen log overlook valley spread below. Vast green no mark human. This frontier always. Before towns mines men like Cranes try own. Mom talk you, Clara said sudden before sick. Tell stories meet build cabin life make. Made sound adventure. Was beginning. We young foolish sure make life anywhere long together. What change? Silas thought question. Nothing change. That problem. Life built need constant work, constant watch. No time rest, no anything soft. Sarah try make cabin home, but home need more four walls. Need community, connect other people. Too proud admit need those. She never complain. No stronger I gave credit. When sick, throat tight. Fought weeks. Fever, chills, cough shook whole. Tried all new, every fix, every treat, but no take doc till late. Time town, nothing anyone do. Clara voice quiet. Died 'cause waited too long. Yes. Then left me 'cause remind her. Yes. Be honest lay between, sharp hurt, but truth, Clara demanded truth. Deserved much. Used hate you, she said. Years lay awake night, imagine face you. Tell exact what abandon cost. All things learn alone. All times need parent no one. Thomas said, need let anger or poison, all good life. Right. Maybe let anger no same forgive. No can forgive Silas. No if want. No asking. Just asking let try better now than then. Road silence after climb higher terrain rockier more hard. Silas leg constant throb but pushed. Clara right demand prove keep. Weak now only confirm worst think him. By late afternoon reached Meadow Silas cabin. Structure looks smaller somehow, more worn than recall. See through Clara eyes, realized how alone really. No neighbors miles, no sound but wind waterhawk cry sometimes. 30 years sanctuary. Now look more prison. Clara got off stood look cabin expression Silas no read. This where lived. Where mom lived died. Where born. Yes, smaller I recall. You 9 last here? All seem smaller grow. She walked door, pushed open. Silas followed. Watch take, single room, simple stuff, stone hearth, narrow bed. Place to find life 3 decades. See-through eyes made understand much given up made. Or give up sake alone. Clara found floorboard rupture happened. Dark stains still see. Blood fluid soaked wood. She knelt, fingers over. This where bullet out. Yes, 23 years. Inside you never knew. She looked him. How even possible? Body does need survive. Walls threats protect self. Sometimes protect becomes own prison. She stood. Get metaphor offer. Show where papers hidden. Silas moved beam above hearth. One look solid hold weight, but hollow run length. Carved self-build cabin. Make space just big valuables. He pulled chair, climbed careful, legs scream protest, reached hollow. Fingers found empty. Reached deeper, search. Nothing. What wrong? Clara asked. Gone. Climbed down, heart pound. Papers here. Put 23 years ago, never moved, but gone. Sure right spot? Sure. Checked other beams, other hide spots, made years different reasons. All empty. Someone here. Someone searched cabin, careful found look. Crane, Clara said, has. But how no look? How no search place? Stood cabin Silas felt trapped close. Crane papers now, mean had all, spot claim, proof Silas, team Marcus. All legal base need challenge own they'd ridden 2 days wild-based think papers here. Need search more careful, Clara said. Maybe something else. Something help. Spent next hour, go all old supplies. Stored gear. Sarah few left things Silas kept. Clara found box letters sent young. Unopened. Held moment. Face no read. Set aside, no comment. Clara found lockbox. Hidden beneath floorboard rupture, hide stain warped wood. Pride careful lifted small metal box, rust edges, but intact. What this? She asked. Silas never seen. No, not mine. Clara worked lock knife, few minutes popped. Inside leather-bound journal, small fit pocket. Leather stain worn, but pages inside good kept. Clara opened first page. Both saw name careful write. Marcus read his journal, Silas said, barely breath. Never knew kept. Clara flipped pages. Entries dated. Start early 1867 when Marcus Silas first team, detail dig efforts, fails, close calls, grow friend. Then halfway, entries more on silver claim found. Clara read loud entry dated May 15th, 1868. Silas thinks found fortune maybe, but canyon bugs. 2 bears, Cheyenne elder sold supplies last week, warned area, said people see sacred ground, burial sites generations. Said, white men disturbed never do well. Tried tell Silas, but brushed as superstition. Maybe, but can't shake, feel make mistake. She turned pages, read entries, detail Marcus grow worry. Noticed men watch. Seen same faces town 2 times coincidence. Entries shorter, more worry. Then entry dated May 20th, 1868, 3 days before ambush. Someone follow us town. Sure now. Silas says paranoid, but hid journal made copies claim papers. If wrong people get originals, least record. Hid copies somewhere. Silas knows somewhere. Look if survive, I know. Old trapper cache near Willow Creek, remember. Clara looked Silas. No talk, cache, Silas mind race. Willow Creek, trapper cache. Yes, knew. He Marcus stumble first winter together. Old stone shelter built hillside where trappers left supplies emergencies. Used few times self. Nowhere, he said. About 3 hours here up high. Then go there now. Dark few hours mean crane men if watch, no see leave. Travel moonlight if need. Clara jaw said. If copies those papers need, our only leverage, right? But Silas read ahead journal, hands start shake. Entry May 23rd, 1868, ambush day, longer others. Came dawn, Marcus wrote. 6 men rifles, no chance. Silas bullet got away. Thank God least. Hit bad, chest wound. Probably no make. Left think dead, but no. Not yet. Here argue what next. One named Josiah. Others call boss. Say need find Silas, need get spot before help. But another man argue. Says claim cursed. That shine warning real. Says 3 their men died last month, accidents, no accidents. Says leave alone. Josiah no listen. Never. Money blinds all else. Entry went on. Marcus writing shakier. Gonna hide journal where Silas might find someday. If reading old friend, no blame leave. Did what survive. Reached outskirts Redemption Creek. Sun climb noon second day. Tired, hungry. Run nothing but sure. Made for Doc Whitmer office. Doc took look, ushered inside, quick, locked door behind. Good Lord, he said, take messy look. What happened? Silas lowered chair. Leg burn hurt beyond injury. Found Marcus read journal evidence, Crane dad ordered ambush, 68 proof Sarah murdered. Words hung, heavy final. Doc look shift concern, shock harder. Murdered Sarah. You sure? Clara brought journal, open right entries. Read loud, voice steady despite feeling. Doc listened, face darker each reveal. Arsenic, he said she done. Symptoms here could match. Treated Sarah self. Remember think some no-fit usual flu. But younger, less no. Trusted easy diagnosis. He looked Silas something like pain. If more careful. No reason suspect murder, Silas said. None us. That point. Made look natural, so stay alone, stay broken, never look answers. Doc took journal, read careful. Then Clara showed claim papers. Map marked sacred grounds. All proof from cache. When looked up, look grim. This bad. Plot commit murder, claim steal, maybe disturb sacred. If get this territory folks can't, Silas cut. Sheriff Crane pocket. Half-town depend mining work. Local judge invest Crane last thing. Go normal way. Proof gone. So then what propose? Need someone power, no connect Crane. Someone no buy or scare. Doc quiet moment, think there's used Marshall Cheyenne. Name William Tate. Met years ago, investigate fraud mining claims. Honest, careful jurisdiction federal crimes. Disturbed native burial sites fall that special if treaty break. How long get word him? Telegraph Cheyenne. Maybe day ride here if no busy other. 2 days total if lucky. 2 days need stay alive, keep proof safe. Clara said Crane no have something. Come us, then smart. Doc desk, pulled paper pen. Send telegraph right, but need backup. People trust. Two Bears, Cheyenne elder. If word him sacred ground, people stake this. Help protect. Silas nodded. Two Bears, name Marcus mentioned journal. Man warned canyon. If alive, still area, might recall old claim. Might recall Warren gave two young diggers decades back. Where find him? Silas asked. Usually camps 5 miles north town near old trade post. See, sometimes come supplies. Doc stood. Send telegraph first, then find Two Bears self. You two stay here, no see. Rest, eat, God's sake, let look leg right. Look death warmed. After Doc left, Clara helped Silas exam table. Cut bandage, both winced. Wound reopened part escape, skin around mad red again, show early bad return. This need right care, Clara said. Pushed hard, no choice. Always choice. She start clean wound supplies Doc kept. Touch gentler expect, careful. Could given papers, save self, let win. Let get away, kill Marcus Sarah. No. Clara worked quiet while, then said, heard Marcus wrote tell you good man. Why no believe self? A question cut deeper, physical cut. Silas stared ceiling. Try find words something never full get. 'Cause good men no leave partners die. Good men no let wives murdered. Good men no leave 9-year daughters. Every pick made wrong one, people died 'cause. Marcus no die your picks. Died 'cause Josiah Crane greedy mean. Mom no die you failed. Died 'cause monsters poisoned keep silent. Clara done bandage leg. Not responsible other evil, but responsible own fails. Yes, she agreed. But no make bad man. Just broken one made wrong. She met eyes. Thomas say measure person know if fall down. If get back, try better. Trying now. Has count something. Before Silas respond, heard shout outside. Multiple voices louder. Clara window peered careful curtains. Crane, she said, least dozen men. Go door street. Silas stood. Ignore leg protest, look us. Back door no matter. If search every building, find eventually. Silas check rifle found loaded. Make stand here. This office, good sea lines, solid walls, one entrance defend against dozen men. Doc back soon. Maybe help. Just hold out. Moved quick, block front door heavy desk, position where watch street. Through window see street crane men work way block. Town people help. Scared clear, no want cross man control much live. Has another way, Clara said. Can't shoot Middletown, right? Gunfight danger innocent, even win, painted bad guys. Crane position perfect. Look worried citizen, try get stolen stuff while look thieves hide justice. Roof, Silas said sudden. Doc office connect pharmacy next? Seen use roof access fix. If get up, maybe move roofs. Put distance us, crane men. Found ladder back closet exact Silas recall, see. Trapdoor roof stiff no use but opened. Silas up first despite leg, then reached down help Clara. Journal papers still case, strap back. Roof flat, gravel low wall edges. Here, see whole street crane men fan, enter buildings, grow crowd town watch nervous. And far end street see Doc Whitmore return. He no alone. With 7 Cheyenne men, all move quiet shore warriors. Lead elderly man carry self-clear power. 2 Bears, Crane saw 2. Dynamic shift, right? Whatever power hold town people, no go Cheyenne nation. They work different laws, answer different power, no scared money threats. 2 Bears walk direct Crane. Even roof, Silas see moment Crane sure falter. Elderly Cheyenne spoke, voice carry sudden quiet. Silas no hear words, but see Crane reaction surprise. Then anger, then look like fear. Doc Whitmore point his office 2 Bears nodded. Started walk building. Crane men follow, but now unsure. Silas Clara climbed back ladder. Come office just Doc open front door. 2 Bears entered first. He 70s, face deep lines, long gray hair bound traditional. But eyes sharp, missed nothing. When looked Silas, recognition. Silas Cord said English, accent native. Remember you. Marcus Reed, you came supplies 1868, warned Canyon. Did, Silas said. Should listened. Many young, no listen. See Silver forget some ground sacred. 2 Bears looked Clara. Daughter, has your eyes stubborn spirit? Clara. 2 Bears nodded respect. Then turned, Jasper Crane pushed office, men crowd behind. Private property. Crane said, these people stole papers belong me. Belong you. 2 Bears voice quiet but full power. Or belong spirits ancestors burial ground you want disturb. Crane face red. No talk don't. Dr. Whitmore told Journal map show Cheyenne sacred sites. Dad crimes your plan continue. 2 Bears step closer Crane. Canyon seek Silver want mine. Runs burial grounds protect treaty. Federal treaty disturb no just wrong moral. Illegal, you no prove. We prove all, Doc Whitmore said. Pull papers Clara gave. Marcus Reed note all. Spot, sacred sites, Warren's got. More proof murder, plot, crimes, bring federal marshals, you all connect op. Crane look around, see spot crumble. Town people gather outside office, listen. Some shocked, others mad. Power held fear, financial hold, evaporate truth out. Want see these papers, Crane demand. See when Marshal Tate come Cheyenne, Doc said with territory reps Cheyenne Nation lead. All check right legal. This ridiculous. Take word dead man hermit hide mountains 30 years. Take word proof. 2 bears cut. Docs, journals, facts, take word conscience. Land speaks listen, Mr. Crane. Told Marcus Reed wrong dig. Told Dad same. Refused here. How many men die work Dad claims? How many accidents, no accidents? Crane face pale. No proof connect. Actually can. New voice doorway. All turned. Standing woman 60s, nice clothes but weathered face live hard. Pushed office, eyes fixed, Crane. Mrs. Hartwell, Crane said, voice surprise fear mix. No concern you. No concern? Husband died, dad mine, 1872. Tunnel fall said. Accident said. But James wrote letters before died. Mr. Crane. Letters dangerous spots, corners cut, warns ignored, letters kept years. Pulled yellow envelopes bag. If bring proof light, bring all. Others pushed now, bold Mrs. Hartwell courage. Man scarred face stepped. Brother lost arm Crane. Up 79. Crane dad paid $50, told quiet, faulty tools. $50 arm live. More voices joined. Chorus complaints, long-held fear economic need. Dam broke 20 years quiet, pour out. Crane backed door, men protective circle. Slander, sue, every. Go ahead, Doc Whitmore said. Sue federal court where all proof present official. Where Cheyenne Nation standing. Where dad crimes your plans check, judges know your pocket. Crane looked crowd, hostile faces, 2 bears warriors block easy out. Empire built dad crimes kept intimidate, collapse him. No over, said. Try keep dignity. Have lawyers stuff, we have truth, Clara said. Speak first. Stepped forward, hold Marcus journal. This Marcus Reed words beyond grave. Every crime, every warn, every detail. Dad killed him. Probably hurt first get info. When no work, dad mom poisoned keep dad from justice. How many others, Mr. Crane? How many innocent die family rich? Crowd murmur now mad. Several men move block door, stop Crane out. Sheriff absent till now, show doorway, look uncomfortable. Clear avoid, confront no ties, Crane expose. Sheriff Tubar said formal, place Jasper Crane under citizen's arrest pending federal marshal. Charges plot disturb sacred sites, hide proof, plot murder, honor arrest or show self-corrupt. Sheriff looked Crane, crowd, Cheyenne warriors, made pick, every lawman eventually make principle or profit. Silas surprise, chose principle. Honor, quiet. Pulled handcuffs, belt, walked Crane. Mr. Crane under arrest. Held town jail till Marshal Tate comes. Crane try fight, but men melted crowd. No one face whole town plus Cheyenne warriors, man crimes now public. Handcuffs click shut, Jasper Crane. Arrive town morning, one powerful led away prisoner. Crowd start leave, buzz talk. Mrs. Hartwell approach Silas Clara. Thanks simple. Courage stand, bring truth after years. Others echo thanks file out. Doc Whitmore close door last, leave Silas Clara, 2 bears, Doc quiet office. 2 bears looked journal Clara hold. May see? Handed careful. Opened Marcus entries sacred ground. Read slow. When looked up, tears eyes. Sacred ground. She handed him, careful. Dr. Whitmore has told me about the journal, about the map showing Cheyenne sacred sites, about your father's crimes and your intention to continue them. 2 bears step closer to Crane. The canyon you seek, the... Look, Clara, can shoot? Thomas taught. Decent. Good enough. Take pistol. When move, cover man left. Take right. No try kill, just make mess get horses. Clara nodded. Take pistol, steady hands. Silas felt pride surge. Mom, daughter, brave matter, steady pressure. But also his daughter mean inherit stubborn no quit. Move down hillside quiet could use brush cover. 30 yards out, Silas raise rifle fire shot air. 2 guards spin sound. That confusion moment. Clara fire pistol ground near left guard feet. Man jump back, shout, think under attack. Silas Clara run horses. Guards bring weapons, but slow surprise, lost sudden attack. Silas reach mount first, swing saddle despite leg pain. Clara right behind, then riding, race down trail shouts, gunfire behind. Bullet whiz past Silas' head. Another dirt near horse hooves, but move fast now, dark make bad targets. Trail twist down trees, minutes put distance pursuers. Road hard hour, follow paths, Silas knew hard track dark. Finally, sure no follow, called stop. Dismount small clearing, both breath hard, adrenaline still run. You hit? Clara asked, check wounds. No, you know, she laughed, bit wild sound. Just escaped 5 men laughing. Thomas say lost mind, Mom say magnificent. Silas touched shoulder. You were, you know, magnificent. Never more proud anyone life. Clara eyes tears but blink back. Don't make feel things now. Need stay angry you little longer. Fair enough. Road rest night, follow trails eventually lead back Redemption Creek dawn break mountains, paint all rose gold. Silas realized shift between. No reconciled. Clara clear that, but something. Allies maybe. Partners seek justice both lost. And first time 16 years, Silas let self-hope maybe, just maybe, path forward no die alone hill. Left Redemption Creek sunbreak, east peaks paint sky gold pink. Clara sat horse like born it, straight shore, lead pack mule load supplies. Silas follow, leg complain every step but handle. Morning air, crisp autumn promise, aspens peak. Riot yellow dark green pines, first hour road quiet. Clara steady pace, no too fast, but no slow suggest help injury. She meant what said no slow Silas respect. Spent many years treated able accept pity. Trail climbed steady, follow creek tumble high. Silas knew every turn, every mark. Every spot path split one safe, other dead ends. This is land, walked 30 years. Come back, Clara felt odd, like 2 separate life parts crash. Around mid-morning, Clara finally spoke. Tell claim. Whole story, no bits. So, Silas told. Described meet Marcus Reed. Months no luck dig. Thrill find silver line, way celebrate sure fortunes made. Careless way mark sight, no think who watch. Ambush 3 days later. Marcus down first, Silas said, voice rougher intend. Shot chest. Tried reach, took bullet leg. All after confuse, hurt, blood, ride till no. Assumed dead. 23 years carried assume, but no sure now. Doc Whitmore told Josiah Crane rep. Diggers gone, claims abandoned mystery. If Crane's behind ambush, no just leave Marcus. Would want info, exact vein spot. Clara took this. So might live shooting just killed later. Possible, no. But think if Marcus alive when they found, if talked before died, why no they file claim? Why sat untouched years? Maybe no tell. Or maybe told something make no want. Marcus superstitious some. Talk spirits, curses, respect land. Never paid attention. But Silas paused. Something said once Canyon found silver. Said bad feel like dig where no should. Laughed off. Stop noon rest horses eat food Clara packed. Sat fallen log overlook valley spread below. Vast green no mark human. This frontier always. Before towns mines men like cranes try own. Mom talk you, Clara said sudden before sick. Tell stories meet, build cabin, life make. Made sound adventure. Was beginning. We young foolish sure make life anywhere long together. What change? Silas thought question. Nothing change. That problem. Life built need constant work, constant watch. No time rest, no anything soft. Sarah try make cabin home, but home need more 4 walls. Need community, connect other people. Too proud admit need those. She never complain. No stronger I gave credit. When sick, throat tight. Fought weeks. Fever, chills, cough shook whole. Tried all new, every fix, every treat, but no take doc till late. Time town, nothing anyone do. Clara voice quiet. Died 'cause waited too long. Yes. Then left me 'cause remind her. Yes. Be honest lay between, sharp hurt, but truth, Clara demanded truth. Deserved much. Used hate you, she said. Years lay awake night, imagine face you. Tell exact what abandon cost. All things learn alone. All times need parent no one. Thomas said, need let anger or poison, all good life. Right. Maybe let anger no same forgive. No can forgive Silas. No if want. No asking. Just asking let try better now than then. Road silence after climb higher terrain rockier more hard. Silas leg constant throb but pushed. Clara right demand prove keep. Weak now only confirm worst think him. By late afternoon reached Meadow Silas cabin. Structure looked smaller somehow, more worn than recall. See through Clara eyes, realized how alone really. No neighbors miles, no sound but wind waterhawk cry sometimes. 30 years sanctuary. Now look more prison. Clara got off, stood, look, cabin expression, Silas, no read. This where lived. Where mom lived, died. Where born? Yes, smaller, I recall. You 9 last here? All seem smaller grow. She walked door, pushed open. Silas followed. Watch take, single room, simple stuff, stone hearth, narrow bed. Place to find life 3 decades. See-through eyes made understand much given up made, or give up sake alone. Clara found floorboard rupture happened. Dark stains still see. Blood fluid soaked wood. She knelt, fingers over. This where bullet out. Yes, 23 years. Inside you never knew. She looked him. How even possible? Body does need survive. Walls threats protect self. Sometimes protect becomes own prison. She stood. Get metaphor offer. Show where papers hidden. Silas moved beam above hearth. One look solid hold weight, but hollow run length. Carved self-build cabin. Make space just big valuables. He pulled chair, climbed careful, legs scream protest, reached hollow. Fingers found empty. Reach deeper, search. Nothing. What wrong? Clara asked. Gone. Climbed down, heart pound. Papers here. Put 23 years ago, never moved, but gone. Sure right spot? Sure. Checked other beams, other hide spots, made years different reasons. All empty. Someone here. Someone searched cabin, careful, found look. Crane, Clara said, has. But how no look? How no search place? Stood cabin, Silas felt trapped close. Crane papers now, mean had all, spot claim, proof Silas, team Marcus. All legal base need challenge own, they'd ridden 2 days wild-based think papers here. Need search more careful, Clara said. Maybe something else. Something help. Spent next hour, go all old supplies. Stored gear. Sarah few left things Silas kept. Clara found box letters sent young. Unopened. Held moment. Face no read. Set aside no comment. Clara found lockbox. Hidden beneath floorboard rupture, hide stain warped wood. Pride careful lifted small metal box, rust edges but intact. What this? She asked. Silas never seen. No, not mine. Clara worked lock knife, few minutes popped. Inside leather-bound journal, small fit pocket. Leather stain worn, but pages inside good kept. Clara opened first page. Both saw name careful write. Marcus read his journal, Silas said, barely breath. Never knew kept. Clara flipped pages. Entries dated. Start early 1867 when Marcus Silas first team, detail dig efforts, fails, close calls, grow friend. Then halfway, entries more on silver claim found. Clara read loud entry dated May 15th, 1868. Silas thinks found fortune maybe, but canyon bugs. 2 bears, Cheyenne elder sold supplies last week, warned area, said people see sacred ground, burial sites generations. Said, white men disturbed never do well. Tried tell Silas, but brushed as superstition. Maybe, but can't shake, feel make mistake. She turned pages, read entries, detail Marcus grow worry. Noticed men watch. Seen same faces town 2 times coincidence. Entries shorter, more worry. Then entry dated May 20th, 1868, 3 days before ambush. Someone follow us town. Sure now. Silas says paranoid, but hid journal made copies claim papers. If wrong people get originals, least record. Hid copies somewhere. Silas knows somewhere. Look if survive, I know. Old trapper cache near Willow Creek, remember. Clara looked Silas. No talk? Cache. Silas mind race. Willow Creek, trapper cache. Yes, knew. He Marcus stumble first winter together. Old stone shelter built hillside where trappers left supplies emergencies. Used few times self. Nowhere, he said. About 3 hours here up high. Then go there now. Dark few hours mean crane men if watch, no see leave. Travel moonlight if need. Clara jaw said. If copies those papers need, our only leverage, right? But Silas read ahead journal, hands start shake. Entry May 23rd, 1868, ambush day, longer others. Came dawn, Marcus wrote. 6 men rifles, no chance. Silas bullet got away. Thank God least. Hit bad, chest wound. Probably no make. Left think dead, but no. Not yet. Here argue what next. One, name Josiah. Others call boss. Say need find Silas, need get spot before help. But another man argue. Says claim cursed. That shine warning real. Says 3 their men died last month, accidents, no accidents. Says leave alone. Josiah no listen. Never. Money blinds all else. Entry went on. Marcus writing shakier. Gonna hide journal where Silas might find someday. If reading old friend, no blame leave. Did what survive. Reached outskirts Redemption Creek. Sun climb noon second day. Tired, hungry. Run nothing but sure. made for Doc Whitmer office. Doc took look, ushered inside, quick, locked door behind. "Good Lord," he said, "take messy look." "What happened?" Silas lowered chair. "A grand jury. Definitely involvement from the Cheyenne Nation's legal representatives." The canyon opened before them like a wound in the earth. Red rock walls rose on either side, streaked with iron and minerals that caught the morning sun. The entrance was narrow, maybe 20 feet across, but it widened as it penetrated deeper into the mountain. Silas sat his horse at the mouth of it, and the memories came flooding back so vividly he could almost smell the gunpowder, almost hear Marcus's voice echoing off the stone. "This is it," he said quietly. The marshal dismounted, gesturing for the others to do the same. "We go on foot from here. Stay together. Stay alert. Mr. Cord, lead the way." Silas climbed down from his horse, his leg protesting but holding. Clara was beside him immediately, ready to help if needed, but he waved her off. He needed to do this on his own strength to face what he'd run from 23 years ago. They moved into the canyon, boots crunching on gravel. The walls rose higher as they progressed, cutting off the sky until they were walking in a corridor of stone. "About 100 yards in, Silas stopped here," he said. "This is where it happened." The marshal's deputies began taking photographs, documenting the terrain. Running Deer was examining the walls, looking for signs of the silver vein Marcus had described. Two Bears and his warriors had spread out, studying the ground with expressions growing increasingly somber. "There," Two Bear said, pointing to a section of ground near the western wall. "Do you see?" Silas moved closer. At first he saw nothing unusual, just rocks and dirt like everywhere else. But as Two Bears brushed away loose gravel, shapes emerged. Stones arranged in patterns, worn smooth by time, but unmistakable in their intentional placement. "Burial markers, how many?" the marshal asked. "Hard to say without excavating, which we will not do," Two Bears replied. "But based on the markers, we can see at least 20, possibly more." This was a significant burial site. He moved further into the canyon, and the warriors followed, finding more markers. More evidence of the sacred ground Marcus had written about. Doc Whitmore had found something else. He called out from about 30 yards in near a small alcove in the canyon wall. "Marshal, you need to see this." They gathered around him. In the alcove, protected from weather by an overhang of rock, were signs of human presence. Spent cartridge casings tarnished but still identifiable. A broken rifle stock. And there, scratched into the stone with something sharp, were initials MSR and the date, May 23rd, 1868. Marcus Clara breathed. He was here after the shooting. Silas knelt, running his fingers over the carved letters. Marcus had been alive long enough to leave this message, this proof of his presence. The journal had told them he survived the initial shooting, but seeing physical evidence made it real in a way words never could. "Look at this." One of the deputies said he'd been searching the alcove more thoroughly and had found something tucked into a crevice, a leather pouch cracked with age. Inside were papers Marcus's original claim documents, the ones Crane had been searching for. "He hid them," Silas said, understanding dawning. "After he was shot, knowing he was dying, he hid the originals where he hoped I might find them someday. The copies in the cache were his backup plan." The marshal took the documents carefully, examining them. "These are signed and dated. They establish a legal claim prior to any Crane filing. Combined with the treaty violations, this makes the case airtight." They continued deeper into the canyon, documenting everything. The deputies found evidence of more recent disturbance test holes that had been dug and then abandoned, probably by Josiah Crane's men years ago. Two Bears identified them as barely missing burial sites by mere feet, suggesting whoever had dug them had some awareness of the sacred ground and was trying to work around it. "They knew," Running Deer said grimly. "They knew about the burials and tried to extract the silver anyway. This isn't ignorance. This is deliberate desecration avoided only by luck." As the sun climbed toward noon, they took a break, sitting in the shade of the canyon wall. Silas found himself at the spot where he'd last seen Marcus alive. He could picture it so clearly, his partner on the ground, blood spreading across his chest, reaching up with one hand. Silas had been 20 feet away, already on his horse, already turning to flee. Their eyes had met for just an instant, and in that instant, Silas had seen understanding, not accusation. Marcus had known what Silas had to do. "He forgave you," Clara said, sitting beside him. She'd been watching his face, reading his thoughts. "Right there in that moment, he forgave you for surviving. How can you know that?" Because I read his journal. He called you a good man. He told you to let go of the weight you carry. Those aren't the words of someone who blamed you. She took his hand. And I think I can forgive you too. Not for leaving Marcus, because that wasn't a choice, but for leaving me for all those years. It doesn't mean I forget. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt, but I can forgive. Silas felt something break inside him. Something that had been frozen for 16 years. Tears came and he didn't try to stop them. Clara held his hand while he wept for Marcus, for Sarah, for all the lost years with his daughter, for the weight of carrying guilt that had never really been his to bear. When he finally had control again, 2 bears approached them. The elder's face was grave. "We found something else," he said. "You should see it." They followed him to the far end of the canyon, where it narrowed to almost nothing before ending at a rock wall. There, in a small cave-like depression, they found bones. Human bones partially covered by rocks that had been deliberately placed. "Someone buried him," the marshal said. "Or tried to. This is probably Marcus," Silas finished. "They killed him and left him here." 2 bears knelt beside the remains with reverence. "We will need to remove him properly, give him the burial he deserves. But first, the marshal will need to document this as evidence." The next hours were somber. The deputies photographed the site from every angle. Doc Whitmore examined the bones with his medical knowledge, noting what he could about the manner of death. The skull showed trauma consistent with blunt force, not gunshot wounds. "They beat him," Doc said quietly, probably trying to get information about the claim's exact boundaries. When he wouldn't or couldn't tell them, they killed him and hid the body. It was Clara who found the final piece of evidence, a pocket watch tucked among the rocks near the bones, silver, tarnished black. But when she carefully opened it, the hands were still visible, frozen at 3:47. She turned it over, and there on the back was an engraving to Marcus for faithful service. JC 1867. JC the marshal said Josiah Crane. He gave Marcus this watch probably when Marcus worked for him before going independent. And it was on Marcus's body when he died. Time of death. Running Deer observed. 3:47. If we can establish when sunset was on May 23, 1868, we can estimate how long after the ambush Marcus survived. Long enough to carve his initials, hide the documents, and write that final journal entry. Hours then, Silas said. He suffered for hours before they came back and finished it. The group was silent, absorbing the horror of it. Finally, the marshal spoke. "We have everything we need. Multiple murder victims, documentation of the crimes, treaty violations, sacred ground desecration, and physical evidence placing Josiah Crane at the scene through this watch. His son's continued pursuit of the claim shows conspiracy to benefit from these crimes." "What happens now?" Clara asked. "Now we document everything properly, collect the evidence, and I take it to the federal prosecutor. The Cheyenne Nation files their complaint about treaty violations. We build a case that can't be dismissed or moved to a sympathetic territorial court, and Jasper Crane stands trial for conspiracy to profit from his father's murders. Will it stick, or will his lawyers find a way out with this evidence?" "It'll stick." The marshal looked around the canyon. "This place tells a story. Murder, greed, desecration, decades of cover-up, but also Marcus trying to protect the truth. Silas surviving to eventually reveal it. Clara pushing for justice. That story is more powerful than any legal maneuvering." They spent the rest of the day finishing their documentation. As the sun began setting, painting the canyon walls in shades of red and gold, 2 bears performed a ceremony for Marcus. The warriors sang burial songs, honoring a white man who tried to do right by their sacred ground. They covered the bones with stones properly this time, marking the site so they could return later with tribal elders to conduct full rituals. Silas stood beside Clara during the ceremony, and he felt something he'd never expected. Closure, not forgiveness for himself, not absolution for his failures, but acceptance. Marcus was finally at peace. The truth was finally known. And standing here with his daughter, united in purpose, Silas realized that maybe peace was possible for the living too as they prepared to leave the canyon. Clara picked up a small stone from near Marcus's grave. "For Mother," she said, "so she's part of this too. Part of the justice." They made camp that night at the canyon's mouth. No one wanting to travel in darkness after the emotional weight of the day. Around the fire, the marshal laid out what would happen next. "We ride back tomorrow. I'll send the evidence to federal prosecutors immediately. The Cheyenne Nation will file formal complaints. Within a week, we'll have indictments. Within a month, probably a trial date. And Crane's lawyers, Doc asked. They'll fight, but they're fighting physical evidence, testimony from credible witnesses, and federal treaty law. The best they can hope for is a plea deal. Life in prison instead of hanging. Silas stirred the fire. He killed Sarah, had her poisoned to keep me isolated and silent. What's appropriate justice for that? There might not be justice that feels sufficient, the marshal said honestly. The law has limits, but we can make sure he never hurts anyone else. We can expose the truth so victims' families know what really happened. And we can protect this sacred ground so Marcus's death and Sarah's death weren't meaningless. It wasn't perfect justice, but it was real justice. And after 23 years, that was enough. They reached Redemption Creek late the following afternoon. Dusty and trail-worn, but carrying evidence that would change everything. Word had spread somehow. People lined the main street watching as the expedition rode in. The marshal went directly to the jail where Crane was being held. While Silas and Clara returned to the boarding house, the atmosphere in town had shifted. Where before there had been fear and uncertainty, now there was something else. Anticipation mixed with dread. People knew that whatever evidence had been found in the canyon, it was significant enough to end the Crane family's hold on the territory. That evening, the marshal held a town meeting. The church was packed, standing room only as he laid out what they discovered. He spoke plainly, showing photographs, reading from Marcus's journal, describing the burial grounds and the physical evidence. When he displayed the pocket watch with Josiah Crane's initials, a murmur ran through the crowd. The federal prosecutor will seek indictments for multiple counts of conspiracy to commit murder, desecration of protected sites, and fraud, the marshal concluded. Additionally, the Cheyenne Nation is filing civil actions to permanently protect the canyon and surrounding areas. Any mining operations there, current or future, will be illegal. What about jobs? Someone called out. Crane Mining employs half this town. Crane Mining will be dissolved, assets seized, and sold at auction. The new owners, whoever they are, will still need miners. The difference is they'll have to operate legally safely with respect for both workers and sacred ground. And if no one buys the operations, then the workers will find other employment, same as they would if any business failed. But gentlemen, this isn't about economics. This is about murder, about men who died because Josiah Crane wanted silver more than he valued human life, about a cover-up that lasted decades. The marshal's voice was hard. Would you really argue that jobs are more important than justice for the dead? The crowd shifted uncomfortably, but no one spoke up to argue further. The evidence was too damning, the crimes too clear. After the meeting, Mrs. Hartwell approached Silas and Clara. I wanted you to know I'm not withdrawing my testimony. Whatever threats they make, whatever it costs me, I'm standing firm. James deserves that much. Others came forward with similar commitments. The tide had turned. Fear was giving way to anger, and anger to determination that the truth be told fully. That night, as Silas lay in bed at the boarding house, he heard shouting from the street. He moved to the window and saw flames. The jail was on fire. People were running with buckets, trying to fight the blaze, but it had already spread through the old wooden structure. Through the smoke and chaos, Silas saw figures on horseback riding out of town. One of them looked like Jasper Crane. He grabbed his rifle and rushed downstairs where Clara was already at the door. The marshal came running up, his face furious. He's escaped, Tate said. Someone set the fire as a distraction. When we evacuated the prisoners, Crane's lawyers were waiting with horses. They're headed north, probably making for the territorial border. We have to go after them, Silas said. Not we, me and my deputies. You're not law enforcement, Mr. Cord. That man killed my wife. Killed my partner. You think I'm staying behind? The marshal looked at him, measuring, then nodded. Get your horse, but you follow my orders. Understand? This is an arrest, not vengeance. They rode out within 15 minutes. The marshal, his two deputies, Silas, Doc Whitmore, who insisted on coming, and Running Deer representing the Cheyenne Nation's interests. The tracks were easy to follow in the moonlight. Heading north through terrain Silas knew well. Crane was moving fast, but not cautiously, leaving a clear trail. He's heading for the mountain pass, Silas said. Beyond that is territorial boundary, and he probably thinks he can disappear across the line. How long to reach the pass? 4 hours at the pace he's setting, but there's a shortcut, rougher terrain, but it cuts an hour off the time. We could get ahead of him, cut him off. The marshal made the decision quickly. Show us. They left the main trail and followed paths that were barely more than game trails, climbing into higher country. Silas's leg was screaming, but he pushed through it. This was the end. one way or another. Either they stopped Crane tonight or he vanished into the wilderness and justice would be delayed again, maybe forever. The shortcut was as rough as Silas remembered. Steep climbs, narrow passages, places where they had to dismount and lead the horses. But it saved time. And as dawn was breaking, they reached the pass before Crane's party. The pass was a natural bottleneck, high rock walls on either side, a narrow trail through the middle, perfect for an ambush, which was probably why Crane had chosen it. What he didn't know was that they'd beaten him there. The marshal positioned his men deputies on either side of the trail, rifles ready. Silas found cover behind a boulder where he could see the approach. Running Deer was beside him, bow strung and ready, preferring traditional weapons for this purpose. They didn't have long to wait. As the sun rose, they heard horses coming fast. Crane's party came into view. The man himself in front, his 2 lawyers flanking him, and 2 hired guns bringing up the rear. 5 men total, all armed. Jasper Crane, the marshal called out. You're under arrest. Surrender peacefully and no one gets hurt. Crane reined in his horse, looking around as he realized he was surrounded. His hand moved toward his gun and the hired men behind him started to draw. Don't, the marshal warned. You're outnumbered and outgunned. This doesn't have to end in blood. For a moment, it could have gone either way. Then one of the lawyers made a break for it, spurring his horse back the way they'd come. The movement triggered chaos. The hired guns opened fire, and the marshal's deputies returned it. Horses reared and screamed. Men dove for cover. Silas saw Crane wheeling his horse around trying to escape in the confusion. Without thinking, operating on instinct honed by decades of survival, Silas stepped out from cover and fired. The shot took Crane's horse in the leg. Not a killing shot, but enough to bring it down. Crane tumbled from the saddle, hitting the ground hard. The gunfight lasted less than a minute. One of the hired guns went down with a bullet in his shoulder. The other threw down his weapon and surrendered. The lawyers, seeing no escape, did the same, and Crane lay on the ground, dazed from the fall. His leg twisted at an angle that suggested it was broken. The marshal approached with his gun drawn. Jasper Crane, you're under arrest. Surrender peacefully and no one gets hurt. The man himself in front, his 2 lawyers flanking him, and 2 hired guns bringing up the rear. 5 men total, all armed. Jasper Crane, the marshal called out. You're under arrest. Surrender peacefully and no one gets hurt. Crane reined in his horse, looking around as he realized he was surrounded. His hand moved toward his gun and the hired men behind him started to draw. Don't, the marshal warned. You're outnumbered and outgunned. This doesn't have to end in blood. For a moment, it could have gone either way. Then one of the lawyers made a break for it, spurring his horse back the way they'd come. The movement triggered chaos. The hired guns opened fire, and the marshal's deputies returned it. Horses reared and screamed. Men dove for cover. Silas saw Crane wheeling his horse around trying to escape in the confusion. Without thinking, operating on instinct honed by decades of survival, Silas stepped out from cover and fired. The shot took Crane's horse in the leg. Not a killing shot, but enough to bring it down. Crane tumbled from the saddle, hitting the ground hard. The gunfight lasted less than a minute. One of the hired guns went down with a bullet in his shoulder. The other threw down his weapon and surrendered. The lawyers, seeing no escape, did the same, and Crane lay on the ground, dazed from the fall. His leg twisted at an angle that suggested it was broken. The marshal approached with his gun drawn. Jasper Crane, you're under arrest. Dismount and keep your hands where I can see them. Crane looked up at him at the ring of armed men and seemed to deflate. The fight went out of him all at once. My father built an empire, he said. From nothing, he built something that should have lasted generations. Your father built a mountain of corpses, the marshal replied, and you tried to make it higher. That's not an empire. That's a monument to greed. They bound Crane's hands and splinted his leg well enough for travel. The sun was fully up now, warming the air. And as they prepared to ride back, Silas stood looking out at the mountains that had been his home for 30 years. This landscape had witnessed everything. Marcus's death, Sarah's poisoning, his own self-imposed exile, and now this final confrontation, the weight of all those years settled on him. But it felt different now. Not the crushing burden of guilt, but something lighter. Recognition, maybe. Understanding that he'd done what he could with what he knew, and that was enough. Doc Clara had stayed in town, but Silas knew she'd be waiting. They'd ride back together, and this time when he left, if he left, it would be with her blessing, not her resentment. The journey back was slow. Crane couldn't ride with his broken leg, so they fashioned a travois to drag him. The man was silent most of the way, lost in thoughts of his crumbling legacy. The lawyers tried to maintain their professional demeanor, but you could see the fear in their eyes. They bet on Crane's escape and lost, and now they'd face charges themselves. They reached Redemption Creek by mid-afternoon. The town turned out to watch Crane being brought back in, bound and broken. Some people cheered. Others just watched in silence, processing the fall of the family that had dominated their lives for decades. Doc Whitmore took charge of treating Crane's leg, setting the break with professional efficiency and zero sympathy. The marshal placed him under guard in a reinforced building, the old bank, which had thick walls and few windows, while arrangements were made for transport to federal custody in Cheyenne. That evening, exhausted beyond measure, Silas returned to the boarding house. Clara was waiting in the parlor, and when she saw him, relief flooded her face. She stood and moved toward him, and without thinking, without the careful distance they'd maintained, they embraced. Father and daughter finally truly connected. "It's over," she said into his shoulder. "It's over," he agreed. "Justice is done." They stood like that for a long moment, and Silas felt the last piece of the weight he'd carried for 23 years finally lift. The bullet was gone. The truth was known. The guilty would face consequences. And perhaps most importantly, he and Clara had found each other again. Later, sitting together in the quiet boarding house, Clara said, "What happens now for you?" "I mean, do you go back to the mountain?" "I don't know," Silas admitted. "Part of me wants to. It's the only home I've known for 3 decades. But another part," he looked at her, "another part wants to stay to make up for lost time, to know my daughter as an adult, not just the child I left behind." "You can't make up for lost time," Clara said, but her voice was gentle. "What's gone is gone, but you can choose what comes next." "We both can." "What do you want?" Clara thought about it, really considered it. "I want to know you, the real you, not the ghost I've been angry at for 16 years. I want to understand why you made the choices you did, even if I don't agree with them. And I want," she paused, "I want to believe that family can be rebuilt, even after it's been broken." "That sounds like a good start," Silas said. They sat together in the lamplight, and for the first time in longer than either could remember, the future felt like something other than a burden. It felt like possibility. 3 months had passed since that night in the pass, and autumn had given way to the first snows of winter. Silas stood at the window of Clara's boarding house, watching the flakes drift down onto Redemption Creek's main street. The town looked peaceful under its blanket of white, transformed from the tense, fearful place it had been into something more hopeful. The trial had concluded 2 weeks ago in Cheyenne. Federal prosecutors had presented the evidence Marcus's journal, the documents from the cache, the physical findings from the canyon, testimony from 2 bears, and the tribal elders about the sacred burial grounds. Doc Whitmore had testified about Sarah's symptoms and the likelihood of arsenic poisoning. Mrs. Hartwell and a dozen other townspeople had spoken about unsafe mining, practices, and suspicious deaths over the years. The pocket watch with Josiah Crane's initials found with Marcus's remains had been particularly damning. Jasper Crane had been convicted on multiple counts: conspiracy to commit murder, desecration of protected sites under federal treaty law, fraud, and criminal enterprise. The judge had sentenced him to life in prison with no possibility of parole. His lawyers, convicted of aiding a fugitive, received 5 years each. The Crane mining operations had been dissolved. Assets seized and sold at auction to pay. Restitution to victims' families. The new mining company that bought the salvageable claims was run by a consortium that included several former Crane employees who testified about the unsafe conditions. They'd implemented new safety standards, fair wages, and most importantly, a strict policy against any operations near Cheyenne sacred sites. 2 bears served as a paid consultant, ensuring that tribal concerns were respected. Marshal Tate had returned to Cheyenne, his work done. But before leaving, he'd shaken Silas's hand and said, "You did a brave thing, not just facing Crane, but facing your own past. That takes more courage than most men ever find." Doc Whitmore had been proven right about his suspicions regarding Sarah's death. The journal entry describing her symptoms have been enough for medical experts to conclude that arsenic poisoning was the likely cause. Though Josiah Crane was long dead and couldn't face justice for her murder, the truth being known had given both Silas and Clara a measure of peace. The most meaningful moment had come a month ago, when two bears and the Cheyenne elders had held a ceremony at the canyon. They'd properly buried Marcus's remains according to their traditions, honoring him as a man who tried to protect sacred ground even at the cost of his own life. Silas and Clara had been invited to attend, and standing there with the tribal community, participating in songs and rituals that predated the territory itself, Silas had felt a connection to something larger than his own grief. Two bears had presented him with a ceremonial pipe afterward. "For your friend Marcus," the elder had said, "and for you, who carried his truth in your body until it could be spoken." The spirits recognize sacrifice, even when it comes in unexpected forms. Now, watching the snowfall, Silas reflected on how much changed. His leg had fully healed. The wound that had taken 23 years to manifest was finally closed. The infection conquered. Doc Whitmore said he'd probably always have some stiffness, some reminder of the bullet that had lived inside him, but he could walk, ride, and live without constant pain. The physical healing mirrored something deeper. Clara came up beside him, 2 mugs of coffee in her hands. She'd taken to making coffee the way Sarah used to, strong and black with just a hint of cinnamon. It was a small thing, but it connected past and present in a way that felt healing rather than painful. "Thinking about the mountain?" she asked. "Always," he admitted. "It's part of me, but so is this." He gestured to the town, to the boarding house, to her. "I spent 30 years believing I needed to be alone to be strong. Turns out I was just scared of letting anyone close enough to hurt me again. And now I'm still scared, but I'd rather be scared and connected than safe and alone." Clara smiled. That's progress. They'd settled into a rhythm over the past months. Silas had taken a room at the boarding house, helping Clara with maintenance and repairs in exchange for lodging. He discovered he had a skill for woodworking, and several townspeople had commissioned furniture from him: chairs, tables, cabinets built with the same precision he'd once used to build his mountain cabin. The work was satisfying in a way he hadn't expected, creating things that would be part of other people's lives rather than monuments to isolation. He and Clara ate dinner together most evenings, slowly building the relationship they'd never had. They talked about Sarah, sharing memories that kept her alive between them. Clara told stories about growing up with Aunt Margaret, about meeting Thomas, about the struggles of building her business. Silas shared tales from his years as a scout, the beauty of the high country, the lessons the mountain had taught him about patience and resilience. They didn't pretend the 16 years of separation hadn't happened, but they were learning that acknowledging pain was different from being defined by it. Healing wasn't about erasing the past. It was about integrating it into a fuller understanding of who they were and who they could become. The door opened and Doc Whitmore entered, stamping snow from his boots. He'd become a regular fixture at the boarding house, usually appearing in time for Clara's evening meals. His friendship with Silas had deepened through shared experience, and there was talk of him writing up their case for medical journals, studying how the human body could survive and adapt to foreign objects over decades. "Cold enough for you?" Doc said, accepting the coffee Clara poured for him. "Roads will be impassable soon. Anyone heading to the high country better go now or wait for spring." Silas had been thinking about that. Winter in the mountains was harsh but beautiful, a season of silence and reflection he'd always treasured. Part of him wanted to return, to spend one more winter in the cabin he built with his own hands. But another part recognized that maybe that chapter of his life was complete. "I've been meaning to ask," Doc said, settling into a chair. "What are you planning to do with that cabin? Can't let it sit empty all winter. Place will fall apart." "I know," Silas said. "I've been thinking about that." Clara was watching him with an expression he couldn't quite read. And I think he paused, making sure this was what he really wanted. "I think I should sell it or give it to someone who'd use it properly. The trapping life, the isolation, that's not who I need to be anymore." Clara's eyes filled with tears, but she was smiling. "You staying in town if you'll have me. I know I'm not easy to live with. I'm set in my way, stubborn." "All true," Clara agreed. "But you're also my father, and I'd like the chance to know you better." They embraced, and Silas felt another piece of the old weight fall away. This was what healing looked like. Not dramatic transformation, but small choices made daily to connect rather than isolate, to trust rather than fear, to build rather than hide. Over the next few weeks, as winter deepened, Silas and Clara made plans. He would officially transfer ownership of the cabin to a young couple who wanted to homestead in the high country. People who'd appreciate the solitude but wouldn't be running from anything. Clara was expanding the boarding house, adding rooms on the second floor, and Silas would help with the construction. He'd also agreed to teach survival skills to young men in town, passing on knowledge gained from 3 decades on the frontier. Running Deer had visited twice, bringing updates on the protected status of the canyon and surrounding territory. The Cheyenne Nation had successfully petitioned for federal recognition of the entire area as sacred land, ensuring that Marcus's death and the battle they'd fought would have lasting meaning. A memorial would be erected in the spring, honoring both Marcus Reed and Sarah Cord as victims of greed who'd ultimately helped protect something precious. On a clear day in late December, Silas and Clara rode up to the mountain one last time. They wanted to see the cabin before winter made it inaccessible to properly say goodbye to that chapter of life. The young couple who'd be taking over in spring had asked if there was anything Silas wanted to keep, and he'd made a short list: Sarah's few remaining possessions, some tools he'd made himself, the letters Clara had sent that he'd never opened. The cabin looked smaller than ever, almost swallowed by snow and forest. They dismounted and went inside, and Silas was struck by how empty it felt. Not physically empty, his belongings were still there, exactly as he'd left them, but emotionally, spiritually empty. The life force that had sustained him here for 30 years was gone, moved elsewhere. Clara found the box of her letters in the corner, protected from moisture by oilcloth. She opened one, read it silently, then looked at him. "I was 12 when I wrote this. Telling you about school, about friends, about missing mother. Why didn't you read them?" "Because I was a coward," Silas said simply. Every letter was a reminder of what I'd given up, of the choice I'd made to be alone rather than risk loving and losing again. I told myself I was protecting you from my grief. But really, I was just protecting myself. At least you can admit it now. They spent an hour going through things, deciding what to keep and what to leave for the new owners. Silas took Sarah's locket, which Clara had given back to him, saying it should stay in the family. He took his hunting knife, the one with the carved handle, because it was the first thing he'd made on this mountain and represented the skills that had kept him alive. And he took the letters, all of them, promising Clara he'd read every one. Before they left, Silas stood in the doorway, looking back at the single room that had been his entire world. "Thank you," he said quietly. "Thank you," Clara asked. "For what?" "For being my prison when I needed one. For keeping me safe while I learned how to live with loss. For being here when I was ready to face what I've been running from." He closed the door gently. "But I don't need you anymore." They rode down the mountain as the sun was setting, painting the snow in shades of gold and pink. Behind them, the cabin stood silent and waiting for new stories. Ahead, Redemption Creek glowed with lamplight and the promise of warmth and community. That night, sitting in Clara's parlor with the fire crackling and the snow falling softly outside, Silas finally opened the letters. He read them chronologically, watching his daughter grow up through her words. 12-year-old Clara describing her school lessons. 14-year-old Clara asking advice about a boy she liked. 16-year-old Clara announcing she'd stopped writing because clearly he didn't care. Each letter was a stab to the heart, but also a gift. They showed him the person she'd become without him. Strong and capable and resilient. They showed him what he'd missed, but also that she'd survived his absence. When he finished the last letter, Clara was watching him. "Well, I'm sorry," he said, "for all of it. For not being brave enough to read these when they came. For not being the father you deserved. I know." She paused. "But you're here now. That has to count for something." "It does," Doc Whitmore said. He'd arrived while Silas was reading, had been sitting quietly in the corner. "Redemption isn't about the past. It's about what you do with the present." Over the following months, as winter slowly gave way to spring, Silas built a new life. He attended the memorial service when it was erected at the canyon, a simple stone marker naming Marcus Reed and Sarah Cord with an inscription in both English and Cheyenne, honoring their role in protecting sacred ground. 2 bears blessed the site, and townspeople came to pay respects. Many of them former Crane employees who'd found better work and wanted to honor the truth that had freed them from fear. Silas and Clara's relationship continued to deepen. They had disagreements. She was as stubborn as he was, after all. But they worked through them with honesty rather than silence. He taught her to track and hunt, skills she'd never learned growing up. She taught him to read beyond basic literacy, opening worlds of knowledge he'd never explored. They were creating something new, not replacing what was lost, but building beside it. On a warm day in May, almost a year after the bullet had ruptured and changed everything, Silas sat on the porch of the boarding house, watching life happen on Redemption Creek's main street. Children played, merchants conducted business, people greeted each other with the ease of community. He was part of this now, woven into the fabric of town life in ways he'd never imagined possible. Clara joined him, settling into the chair beside his. "Penny, for your thoughts?" "I was thinking about that bullet," he said. "How it sat inside me for 23 years, causing pain, but also, in a strange way, keeping me alive. If it had killed me in 1868, none of this would have happened. Marcus's truth would have died with us. The Cranes would have gotten away with everything. So, you're saying it was meant to be?" "No, I'm saying that sometimes the things we think are destroying us are actually preparing us for what comes next. The bullet forced me down from the mountain. The wound forced me to your door. The pain forced me to face what I've been running from. None of it was pleasant, but all of it was necessary." Clara took his hand. "Mother would be proud of you, of us, of what we've built from all that pain." "She would," Silas agreed. And for the first time in 16 years, thinking about Sarah didn't bring crushing guilt. It brought gratitude for the time they'd had. Acceptance of the loss and recognition that honoring her memory meant living fully, not hiding away. As the sun set over Redemption Creek, painting the sky in brilliant colors, Silas Cordman, survivor. Father sat with his daughter and felt something he'd forgotten was possible: contentment. The weight he'd carried for so long was finally completely gone. Not because the past had changed, but because he'd learned to carry it differently, shared among people who cared, integrated into a life that had room for both joy and sorrow. The bullet was gone. The truth was known. Justice had been served. And most importantly, a father and daughter who'd been separated by grief and pride had found their way back to each other. The story that had begun with an ambush in a canyon decades ago had ended not with vengeance or violence, but with healing and hope. Silas looked at Clara, at the town that had become his home, at the mountains that would always be part of him, and understood finally what Marcus had tried to tell him in that last journal entry. The weight you carry will kill you if you don't learn to set it down. He'd carried a bullet for 23 years and guilt for even longer, but he'd finally learned to set both down, to let others help bear the burden, to accept that strength wasn't about suffering alone. And in that acceptance, in that simple act of letting go, Silas Cord found something more valuable than any silver vein. He found peace,